We have our cat, we have our questions, we have our FAQs that tell us about our cat, and we also got an email that worked. The only manual labor you're doing here is answering the question and then clicking the button. This flow is going to be extremely useful in many use cases, especially when you have something like this, like an official Notion page or site that you have, and a lot of people are accessing that site, and you want to be able to address their questions as quickly as possible. All right, y'all. What we're looking at here is I want to create an FAQ form flow, and what that looks like is, so we have the main landing page, and this can be anything in Notion, really, but when we're stuck at that main landing page, we want to be able to push our users to some type of form, right? So we're moving to some type of form. Let's mark it a different color, and we're going to do like FAQ. So this is something that's already possible through Notion boilerplate, right? What we want to do is we want to bring an automation component into this. So let's go ahead and move all of this up here. So this is what we're starting with. We want people to be able to see the questions in the main landing page. So we want a secondary component here where we have the FAQ page, and we ideally want these questions to lead into that page. So we are trying to create that through the power of these automations. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this, and we're going to see how we can get from here all the way back over here. So once we receive those questions, these automatically go into a database. So I think it's relatively simple to go ahead and implement this. We can have automation that notifies page owner of a new question. And then once that new question has been identified and the page owner answers the new question, and then using a button to turn answer into a page in the FAQ database. And this is essentially through this, and I guess there's an intermediary step over here where we have some type of list view on the FAQ page. So this is essentially what we're working with, and this brings us all the way back here. So this is an item that's on this page, and these are the 3 steps of the automation that we need to kind of put in place. And then all of this stuff is just stuff that we need to do on our end, or on the front end, for our users to see. All right, y'all. So I just made a small page about my cat, and we're gonna roll with this. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is set up that form over here. I'm gonna create FA question cat question. All right, and this is going to be a database. Okay, so all questions, and then we're gonna create a form on the side. It's right here. Question. I'm wondering if I can embed this. Okay, great.
9,986,000 minutes. That's how many minutes that you've worked here.
Our next step is to design the database for the FAQs. Okay, question answer is all I really need here, and then I'm going to default it to have a little question icon so that it is pretty standardized. And then here we take the gallery view, and okay, that doesn't look too bad, and I don't really have a problem with how that looks. So I'm just going to leave it like that. Then we're going to go back here, and then we're going to go to the FAQ page, and FAQ, we're going to add that view in, and then we're also going to hide this. And then we are also going to add a button, I believe. I don't know if you can, right? Let's say button. And then we are going to open page, and we're going to open my cat in full page. Great. Have all of this set up well. The last thing we need to do is actually set up the automation. So the first thing I'm going to do is go into here. Well, there's not really much more to do than that, but we're going to say a new question, and the trigger is just going to be a page is added. The thing I'm going to do is I'm going to send a notification to myself. I'm going to say somebody asking. Okay, so we're going to create that. That sets up the automation, so we're going to just double check that that works. I'm going to go onto the cat page. I'm going to say sample test 1, going to say my email is fake@fake.com. I'm going to say the question is, what is your cat's name? Okay, and then you can see that I got a notification. It says new question, sent you a message. So I'm going to look at that. See sample test 1 question and what is your cat's name. So from here, I want to be able to turn this into a page inside the FAQ database. So I'm going to add a button, turn into FAQ, and this button is going to add a page inside the FAQ database, new page, and then the name of this is going to be this page question. I am going to open the page that was added inside Peak so I can go ahead and answer the question. Super straightforward and pretty easy to do. And another thing I need to do here, which I forgot about, is link it. You don't have to link it actually, but I want to link it. And we're going to do a two-way relationship, and we're going to say form database. What is official FAQs? Alright, so we're going to add that in, and then this is going to be official FAQs, and then I just need to update this button to link it. Get another property, form database, and we're going to say this page. Okay, so if I turn this into an FAQ, we add a page to the form database, as you can see by the icon. It has, I don't know, my cat has declined to answer this question for personal information purposes. Okay, great. So we have this. And the other thing I want here is a status property. Okay, and then once we successfully do this, this is going to change our value to official FAQ. Okay. Now if we go to the official page, my cat, and then we go to FAQs, we can see that we have, what is your cat's name? My cat has declined to answer this question. And yeah. And then if you click this, hopefully it takes you here. Okay, so yeah, more than that, you don't really need to do too much. I'm going to give you guys one more functionality just in case, because I know that when I was building this out for a client, they wanted the ability to answer questions individually. So let's go ahead and do that as well. Okay, we get the notification, we open the notification, we see that sample test 2, somebody's asked a new question. Okay, so for this example, we're going to go ahead and send an email to the person that is also automated through Notion and through a button. So I'm going to go ahead and create a button. So what does that entail, right? So what we're going to do is instead of adding a page here, first thing we're going to do is we're going to edit the property, right? So we're going to say we replied personally. And the second thing we're going to do is send an email. So we're going to send an email we're going to connect to our personal Gmail account. Okay, the email property. So this is what it's going to be. The problem here is that we need to have an answer before we send this, right? And then I'm going to prompt myself to answer to the question first. Great. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to wing it here. And then I'm going to do this. So personally respond. Did you fill it out? No. So I'm going to fill it out. Let's personally respond. And then yes. So we have something that looks like this. Hello there. We have received your question at the cat, and we would like to personally address it. Your question, ta-da. Our answer, ta-da. Right? I'm going to go ahead and share this publicly as well. So let's go through the flow as if we are a user. Okay, so I see this. I'm like, wow, what a cute cat. Why is it biting an object? Finally, my question that I have is, how old is your cat? I'm just going to reload the page so I can ask more questions and also see if my question has been answered officially. So now we switch to the other side where I am Jimmy, or I'm the person receiving the question. Okay, go to my inbox and I'm like, somebody asked a new question. How old is your cat? My cat is 2.5 years old, I think. I answered the question, right? Now the status is answered. Do we want to turn it into an FAQ, or do we want to personally respond to this question? If you have like maybe like a manager or something that's answering your question for you, or that's actually in charge of personally responding or sending the questions, just have another button that notifies the manager, and then they can send it. Okay, so we're going to turn this into an FAQ, and then did you fill out the answer property? You did. And we're going to say this, how old is your cat? It's set up. We're going to go ahead and reload the site. And here, as we can see, if we go into FAQs, we have our FAQ, which is how old is your cat? So yeah, that's how you create an FAQ pipeline. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope you liked the video. And make sure to subscribe to see more of my cat.